Morning dear students. Today we are going to see our second chapter, which is the components of the food. In the previous chapter we have seen about the food, how does it come to us, what are the sources, what is the food made up of, right? We saw that the materials which are required to make the food are called ingredients. We also saw that how do animals get the energy. Some of them eat the plants, some of them eat the animals, some of them do the both. And we concluded our chapter. Now, food is essential for survival of all of us. So, we should try to find out what is there in the food inside. What are the components inside the food which are helping us to do this, right? So, before we move into this chapter, let us again remember what we did in last chapter, right? We saw that how every meal at every home is different. So, if you try to think what is made at your home typically, then you will find out that you have roti or the chapatis, you have dal, you have vegetables and you have rice, right? Other than this, you can have curd or buttermilk or some pickles. So those are the extra items which you will be having on and off, maybe at some day and maybe you will not have at other days. Similarly, if you see different states of India, let's try to think about the South India. In a typical South Indian home, you will have rice, you'll have sambar or rasam, you'll have different vegetables. If you go to Punjab and you see the meal, you will find makke ki roti, right? You will find sarson ki saag and you will see rajmas over there. So, if you try to observe these meals, you will find something common. Let's try to find out what is common, okay? So, what do different food items contain? We are actually going to see this chapter under these contents. The first one is, we will try to find out what are the different components inside our food. Then we will see what are the various nutrients which our body needs to function. We'll see how should a balanced diet, a perfect diet should look like. And also we will see if you don't take a balanced diet, what are the diseases you may suffer from. Okay, so let's start with what are the different food items which the food contains. So let's start comparing the distribution of the meals. Are the meals common in some or the other way? Let's think about Punjab. Let's see a meal in Punjab home. Okay, so it will have makke ki roti, which is corn ki roti. It will have rajma, right? It will have sarson ki saag. I'm just talking about the dishes which are very famous, right? The typical kind of dishes. Now, if you observe this, what do we see? There is an item of grain, right? Roti is made from grain. So, this is item of grain. There is an item of beans or dal or pulses. Pulses or beans. And then there is an item of vegetable. Now, if I try to move to down south, okay, what can I see? Let me see the South Indian meal. So, again I will have an item of grain, which can be maybe rice or maybe idli. Idlis also have grains. So let's talk about rice only. So it has rice. It will not have rajma typically, but it will have sambar, which is again item of a pulses, and then there may be some other vegetable curry, right? It can be any kind of vegetable curry. The spices may be used in a different way, but all of them will have these ingredients. So do you think that there is a reason the distribution of meal is like this? That you have a grain, you have pulses, you have vegetables in a day, in your meal included, right? Do all these components are providing certain important thing which serves a very special purpose in our body? Yes, at times when you are traveling, or maybe when you are not feeling good, or maybe when you want to take an off, your meal might look different. But typically most of the times meals look like this. Yes, many cannot have the same kind of meal, maybe they cannot do that, but even then people try to have this kind of meal. So is there a reason behind that? Is it actually required to make our body function properly? So we are going to see that what is inside these grains, these pulses, these vegetables. And other than this, we have milk, tea or coffee included in our daily things. We use curd in many items. We use curd, we use buttermilk. So what is there inside all of them, right? What is there inside the fruits? We are going to see in this particular chapter. Okay, so let's start with the components which are inside these gradients. Okay, which are inside these ingredients. So the components of the food which are present in the food items, which is necessary for our body to grow, to function, which is necessary to provide energy to our body, are called nutrients. So here comes our first keyword for this chapter, which is nutrients. Let's see what are nutrients again. So we got the answer to our question. What do different food items contain? Different food items contain different nutrients, right? So if I want to write the definition of the nutrients, I can write nutrients are the components of food. If I want to write the definition of the nutrients, I can write nutrients are the components of food which are essential for our body. Which are essential for our body. So nutrients are the actual components inside the food which is helping our body to perform various functions. So if we want to see how many types of nutrients are there are 5 types of nutrients. They are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals. So these 5 nutrients are present in the diet we are having daily. These 5 nutrients are required in different amounts in our body. These are the nutrients which have special functions inside our body. Okay, we are going to see each one of them separately, and we are going to see the sources from which we get carbohydrates, the sources from which we get proteins, fats, vitamins or minerals. And we are also going to see that what is their function and what will happen if you do not have them. So let's continue to the next lecture with the details of these nutrients. Until then, bye bye.